Report on the harassment of public servants and citizens fighting for justice introduction in recent years. The United States has witnessed a disturbing trend. Individuals who stand for justice, truth, and public service have become targets of harassment, threats, and abuse. The testimony of former Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone highlights the hostile environment faced by law enforcement officers who performed their duty on January 6, 2021. Fanone's story is not isolated. It resonates deeply with others who have stood up to systemic injustices and paid a heavy personal price. This report examines the harassment faced by Michael Fanone, draws parallels to similar experiences of private citizens, and underscores the need for a national reckoning to prioritize truth, accountability, and support for those who defend justice and public safety. Michael Fanone's testimony. A betrayal of public servants. Michael Fanone, a 20-year veteran law enforcement officer, faced life-threatening violence during the January 6 Capitol attack. Since testifying before Congress about the events of that day, Fanone has endured relentless threats to his life and the safety of his family. His mother, a 76-year-old woman, was swatted, a dangerous act of filing a false report to provoke an armed police response, and had feces thrown on her property while performing ordinary yard work. Fanone's testimony underscores the hypocrisy of political rhetoric about backing the blue, while simultaneously enabling and excusing violence against law enforcement officers. He stated, "No political party supports law enforcement. Right now, the Republican Party owns a monopoly on hypocrisy when it comes to their supposed support of law enforcement." Fanone's call for accountability reveals the disturbing reality of a nation polarized and indifferent to the sacrifices of those in public service. Personal reflections. Parallel experiences. This report also draws on personal experiences of harassment, highlighting that such attacks are not limited to public figures. Activists and private citizens who challenge systemic injustices often become targets of intimidation. For instance, swatting and harassment. As detailed, U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell's office was linked to a swatting incident targeting an individual advocating for workers' rights. Additionally, repeated police visits and even FBI involvement were used to intimidate, though FBI agents involved displayed professionalism and even offered support. These incidents underscore the duality within institutions. While systemic flaws exist, there are individuals within these organizations who strive to uphold justice and fairness. The question arises, why does America often fail to amplify these positive examples over the actions of those who erode trust, such as Donald Trump or influential figures like Elon Musk, who are accused of exploiting their platforms for personal gain? The broader issue, silence and indifference. Fanone's testimony paints a troubling portrait of a society increasingly indifferent to violence, corruption, and the suffering of its neighbors. This indifference is amplified by the failure of political and community leaders to consistently condemn acts of intimidation and violence against public servants and citizens. The role of silence cannot be overstated. As activists and whistleblowers face mounting challenges, the lack of vocal support from those in positions of power emboldens bad actors. America must shift its focus to amplify the stories of individuals who stand for justice, like Michael Fanone and countless unsung citizens who fight daily battles against corruption and abuse. Recommendations for change. National accountability standards. Implement federal protections for whistleblowers, activists, and public servants to deter acts of harassment, including swatting and threats. Public awareness campaigns. Highlight stories of courage and integrity, emphasizing the positive contributions of law enforcement officers, activists, and community leaders. Bipartisan support for justice. Demand consistency from political leaders in supporting law enforcement and public safety, ensuring their rhetoric matches their actions. Community engagement. Encourage grassroots movements to call out hypocrisy and indifference, ensuring that justice advocates are heard and supported. Stronger digital protections. Address online harassment by enforcing stricter penalties for swatting, doxing, and targeted threats, which disproportionately affect those fighting for justice. Conclusion. America stands at a crossroads. where the narratives of courage and selflessness can either be amplified or overshadowed by the noise of hate and hypocrisy. Michael Fanone's testimony is a stark reminder of what is at stake when public servants and private citizens are abandoned in their fight for justice. The nation must move beyond the divisive rhetoric of figures like Donald Trump and Elon Musk to celebrate and support those who embody the true spirit of service and advocacy. It is time to amplify the voices of the heroes, the helpers, and the fighters for justice, and to demand a nation that hears them,